Well, I heard the ref say, were they using that soft A or the hard R? I lost it, and I said, what the hell? Hey. These are his little championship rings that the coaches invested in. So, yeah, this is like serious for him.
Okay.
Both were the ones that were being called the racial slurs and all this stuff. So, first of all, I'm going to say this because I know everybody's going to probably go to my Facebook and want to look. I have used the word, y'all can't say it, or a lot of people shouldn't say it, and it's nigger, whatever the word is, it shouldn't be used. I've used it, and now me going through this with my grandson, I'm learning how effective that word is and how me using it could be just as bad as somebody else using it. So what happened was last Sunday, the boys had a game against Hoopa, and they played for Eureka single A. During the game, before any halftime, during the game it was heated. The Hoopa was losing, and I get that a lot of kids get upset and they don't know how to handle their anger. So the young men on the Hoopa team started using the racial slur, nigga. They kept calling the kids that. They kept some of the other players this word. There's 5 black kids on this team for Eureka single A. And Brian told the referee, Papa told the referee, Monte told the referee. From what they're telling me, the referee said, shut up, play. I got a problem with that. Well, that's what I heard from them. I have my own story because I heard it for myself. At halftime, I was walking up to a parent, and the parent was having the same discussion with the ref, telling him that her son was saying that these kids were calling them nigga. Well, I heard the ref say, were they using that soft A or the hard R? I lost it, and I said, what the hell, or lack of better words, what does that mean? You don't use the A or the R to do anything in a sport to belittle or hurt or bring down or use it as an insult to get your way or to hurt another player if you're losing. That's not how you do it. Well, he walked away from me, and that was at halftime. The kids ended up getting beat almost 40-something, almost to nothing. They got 1 touchdown. If the ref had to stop this when the kids were telling them this was going on, this may have not gotten so far to one of the players actually getting into a physical confrontation with the other team. He got ejected. He got kicked out, and he can't play in the next game, which I think is very unfair since you guys never did anything to stop it. You knew and admitted that the word was being used and did not do anything. And also, you ejected a player for a rule that you don't even have in your book.
And to be clear, the player that has been ejected is the one who
was being called the name and was being they got into a pushing, shoving incident. The other players from the opposing team came over. I guess I don't know if I won't assume they came to help, but they ran towards Papa. If it's 3 or 4 more people running towards me, I'm going to protect myself. I don't give a damn who you are. I'm going to protect myself, a child, cat, dog, whatever. You're going to protect yourself. He went into protective mode, and he slung one of the boys down to the ground, or pushed him down to the ground. We're not even arguing about whether he was wrong or right. You don't use violence to make things right. Papa was wrong. He got punished. The game is done. He can't play. The point is, there is no rule that says you can't say the N-word. That it's a bad word, or that it's an offense, or that you can get kicked out of the game, or whatever. There's no consequences for this word.
Is there any rule regarding racial slurs in general? Specific?
There is a rule. They said there's a rule. I don't know. There's a rule for bad words, I guess, for name calling.
Okay, name calling.
There is no rule for that word.
Right.
There's no rule or there's no consequences for that word. And the ref showed that very clearly because he didn't do anything when he knew way before this even happened what was going on. So my point in saying this is there are grown men that I have read that have this same problem in the NFL, and they take into violence to solve the problem. How is it you expect a 9-year-old or an 8-year-old to know how to juggle and judge their feelings and not react to someone that I've told the superior that this is happening to me. I've told my coach that this is happening to me. I've told my parent that this is happening to me, but no one has done anything to stop it.
And it's not just we're not talking about being called a jerk. We're not talking about being called a dum-dum.
Right.
This is not childhood name-calling level.
Derogatory. It hurts.
Thank you.
And if you're not black, you don't know. And so it went even farther at the meeting. After they made the decision, there was a meeting with the board and the presidents. And at this meeting, it was once again made like this is nothing. We're not going to talk about that right now. We're not going to talk about the insult, the N-word, or whether it was used with an A or R. We're gonna leave that till January. How do you leave something to January that is affecting a player right now? If you want your players to play at their full potential and you want them to be good and law-abiding citizens and respectable, you don't tell them, okay, well, just take it. You'll be all right. Let's sweep that under the rug and let's handle this. That is not how my grandson is. He got these for being good. And he's very good at what he does. It's not just playing football, basketball. He's also a wrestler. All these things require you to be in control or require you to have some discipline. If he doesn't have any of these reports from any other sports, why is he getting it with football? He is biracial. So he's black and white. Nobody should have to go through that. Nobody should have to worry about what their color is when they're playing football, or if you like them or don't like them if they're playing football. This is not what this is about. This is about kids interacting together, learning the sport, and maybe possibly going on to have a future. My grandson, he said he did not even want to play anymore because nobody is helping him. He has to take these derogatory comments. He has to take these insults. He's getting banged up on the field. And then one of the main players, his captain, gets kicked out for defending himself and his team. Because he was not just defending himself. He was defending his whole team. He was taking up for his whole team because nobody was taking up for his team. Nobody stood up for Papa or the Eureka single A team. Papa did. And he did it the wrong way, and now he's being punished. And I think Six Rivers needs to get their stuff together. All these other teams need to get their stuff together and realize we're not going anywhere. It's not going anywhere. Biracial kids are not going anywhere. White kids are not going anywhere. Native Americans, Chinese, whatever. Nobody is going anywhere. They're going to play ball, and we want to play ball fairly. We don't want to be insulted, disrespected, cussed out, and made to feel less than. We don't want that. We just want to play. If you can't play, get off the field. It's just as simple as that. And if the adults can't help them, they don't need to be in the position they're in. Because nobody should be okay with anybody's child being insulted. And that's my problem with this.
It sounds like the concept of sportsmanlike conduct failed to be sufficiently addressed at that meeting.
Right.
Would you? Because you were in that meeting.
Yeah, they didn't want to talk about it. They didn't want to talk about race. They didn't want to talk about the who, what, when, where, why. There's a reason this happened. If the ref had stopped and did his job, we wouldn't even be here. Because if you know your player is saying this, why wouldn't you fix that? So for us to go to a meeting, you guys have already made your decision. We want to make sure that you know, and we accept Papa did wrong. He put his hands on somebody. Okay, he's out of the game. But that has nothing to do with the next game and the next game and the next year and the next year of players that are going to come to this county or come to these towns and these little league games. Nobody wants to go through that. These kids did not choose their parents. So they shouldn't have to pay because their parents are black or white or mixed or whatever the case may be. That should not be an issue. The issue should be, I get to pay all this money for my child to play ball, and I want him to have the right mindset. I want him to be respected and treated in a right way, and I want him to do the same. And that was not addressed. So that means paying for protecting his team. He's paying for his right to have nobody talk shit to him or put him and make him feel less than. He's paying for that with a game. We all right with that. Now, what are you guys going to do so this doesn't happen again? So the next parent doesn't have to worry about their children not wanting to play. Things deter kids' future. Words can deter a child from being where they need to be in life. Nobody wants to play football and get banged up and still be talked shit to and put down and made to feel less than. Nobody wants that. And my grandkids, I'm not going for it. So y'all better get used to this face, because if you try me, I got you. I'm not going to back down, and I'm not going to shut up about mine. They are going to be able to play sports. They're going to be good in sports, and they're going to be respected, and they're going to respect people. And this is all we're asking for. Be fair. We can't change our color. You can't change your color, but you can watch your mouth. There you go.